There it is. Okay, so welcome everyone to our Visioning Empathy Cafe. I'm Edwin Rutsch, the director of the Empathy Center, and the purpose of this cafe is to have a place for people to meet us who here. We're setting up this retreat center, empathy-based retreat center in Santa Barbara, and that's you can see it behind me. And we're just having a place where you can share your ideas, your vision for the space, ask any questions, just to connect with us, see how you might like to be involved in the center. And we're also going to be doing the empathy circle practice, which is a foundational empathy practice that we do at the center. And we also have some trainings coming up. There's people still coming in. So we have trainings coming up. And one of the prerequisites for taking a training is taking part in 2 of these empathy circles, and then you learn how to facilitate them. Hi, Jolie. So I'm just explaining what we're doing here. Our overall vision or mission is to raise the level of empathy in society, and that's what the center is primarily, at the most basic level about. And we're learning the empathy circle practice, and then, as I was saying, you can get ready for taking our training. So we want to start next is just go around, share your name, your location, and why you're interested in being here. I'll model it, Edwin Rutsch from the Empathy Center. My brother purchased this property, asked me to manage it, and really just wanting to use this space to raise the level of empathy in society. And I'm in El Cerrito, which is near Berkeley, California, Bay Area. Bill, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Bill Filler. I'm a retired special education teacher, and I've been working with Edwin for about 6 years in the training and also going to demonstrations and trying to get people who are angry at each other to talk to each other and actually listen. I'm also in the Bay Area, and I'm very glad to be here. Thanks.
Jonathan?
Thank you, Edwin. Over the last year that I've been studying to become a facilitator of empathy circles, I've learned and come to value tremendously the empathetic support and the ritual of empathy circles. And it's become just a very satisfying part of my life. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and thank you.
So, Scott, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Scott McGregor, first time here. I was doing research on people who are doing empathy training because I'm putting on a Sattva Tov empathy workshop. It's a workshop out of Florida that I'm bringing to the UK where I live. And I happened to come upon Edwin's program, and we communicated. He said, come on and join this call and I'll help you understand who the people are and what the project is. So I'm really excited to be part of another group of people who have a mission to bring more empathy to the world. So
glad you're here, Scott. Carson?
Hi, I'm Carson Kelly. I'm located in the Santa Cruz area, Capitola. Edwin and I connected, gosh, maybe 6 months ago, a year, I don't even know, but really fortunate to be able to make his friendship, I think. I run something called Compassion 2.0, where we're looking at the intentional architecture of compassionate human experience and how to measure that from a pro-social kind of scientifically validated frame. And we do that around product and experience as well as organizational culture experience. And so I've been getting to know the Empathy Center. I've had the good fortune to stay there one time, and I'm very excited about the project and hope to run retreats and activities and so forth with Edwin down there in Santa Barbara.
Thanks. Jolie?
Hi, I'm Jolie, and I'm based down half hour south of Santa Barbara in Ventura. and I'm an educator. I have been familiar with Marshall Rosenberg's nonviolent communication since 2011, and really care about just sharing tools and ways of being that can be life-giving and create more harmony and connection with ourselves and others. And I also am an educator for the local adult school.
Thank you. Kathy? We're just doing name, location while you're here.
Did you say me?
Yes, Kathy.
Oh, hi. Kathy Kidd. I'm in Houston, Texas. I've been in the empathy circles 2.5 years. I came and I never left, and I hope you do the same.
Thanks. Betsy?
Hello, I'm Betsy. I moved to Santa Barbara like about 1.5 years ago, and I'm doing volunteer work with ACT right now, helping homeless populations. And I'm just, I don't know how I came across this, the Empathy Center. I like the empathy, about it. So I know nothing about this program. I'm just curious about volunteering. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, glad you're here. Sally, we're just doing name, location, and why you're here. You there, Sally? There you go.
Yeah, I grew up in Santa Barbara. So then I moved away. And I lived in Humboldt County, went to school there, got a degree in natural resource planning, and now I am retired. And would like to just stick around, and if there's projects, do what I can.
Thanks. And Mahame, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Andrew Rwanda.
Yes, hi, my name is Andrew from Rwanda, Executive Director, Youth for Development and Human Rights Advancement. I'm a human rights activist, and I'm very curious to learn about empathy and how to apply it in our daily life, especially in Africa. This is my first time. Thank you very much.
Well, welcome. Tina, are you able to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I'm trying to get on my desktop, so I'm working on getting that done quickly. I joined because right now everything feels so chaotic. So empathy, there couldn't be a more perfect time to try to learn about empathy circles. It's a simple process, but it's impactful, and that is why I'm here. Thank you.
Welcome, Tina. Michael Wang had popped in before, but never says anything. We never hear. If you could just introduce yourself, Michael. Are you there? Okay, he's kind of popped in before and a couple of times and just never hear an audio or video. So there it goes. So what I'm going to do is, before we go into the empathy circle, just give you a quick view of the empathy center that you can see it behind me. Since this is a painting of it, it's about 10 minutes from downtown Santa Barbara. It looks out over Santa Barbara. It's about 1,000-foot elevation. Right behind Santa Barbara, looks out over the city and over to the ocean. And just for those that aren't familiar with it, I'll just give you a quick view of it on Google Earth. So this is the center here. You can see there's Santa Barbara and the ocean. So you can just zoom in. And there it is. Just backs up to the National Forest. There's nothing behind but the National Forest. And let's see if I can do the spinning of this. How they Google Earth changed. Oh, there it is. So you can see it's just on top of a hill right next to a nice park, Schofield Park. and looks out over Santa Barbara. There's 35 acres. And so the property goes all the way down the canyon around, and actually there's a little trail there. And it's about 55,000 square feet, and it used to be a Catholic seminary. And my brother purchased it, asked me to manage it, and we're kind of working to create this empathy center there, and a space for doing all kinds of different workshops, retreat center. So what we want to do now is go into an empathy circle. I don't know, should we do one circle, or do you, Bill or Kathy, or should we break out into two? Do you think, so we have so many people?
I think two.
Okay. Probably a good idea. So let me actually create the rooms. We're going to just create two rooms. Somebody want to explain how the empathy circle works? I don't know, Kathy, do you want to give a quick primer while I make the
Oh,
rooms?
sure. I'd love to. Okay, so in the empathy circle, there are 4 roles: the facilitator, the speaker, the active listener, and the silent listeners. The facilitator will be keeping time of everybody's turn, and I will be taking 4-minute turns, Edwin.
Yeah, that'd be 4 minutes.
Okay,
Good.
we'll be taking 4-minute turns. The speaker just speaks whatever you want to talk about. There's a topic usually, but also as part of the topic, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And you want to speak in small phrases so that the person listening to you, the active listener, can paraphrase or reflect back what you've said. And you can either, speak exactly what the person said using their same words, or condense it. Just the point is to make sure that person feels fully heard. And as the speaker, it's your responsibility to make sure you're fully heard. So if you get a reflection that's not quite what you were putting out there, you can say, well, let me tweak that a little bit, or that's not exactly what I said. This is what I'm wanting to say. And as the listener, you want to refrain from agreeing, interjecting an opinion, disagreeing with what somebody has said. All you're doing is listening and reflecting. And if there's something you feel strongly about that you'd like to talk about on your turn, that's when it's your turn to speak. So, and then the silent listeners are there to hold the space and actively listen also, just not speak. So the silent listeners, you don't want to be walking around in the background, eating, smoking. If you do feel like you need to lay down or do something, go to the bathroom, just turn your screen off, and when you come back, turn it back on. And it's important, unless there's some web issue, connectivity issue, temporarily, for you to have your camera on when you're listening and when you're speaking. So 4 roles: facilitator, speaker, active listener, silent listener. And the values of the circle, I'll just say really briefly: mutuality, equality, openness, inclusiveness. So that's why everybody's got 4-minute turns to speak, and they don't get interrupted when they speak, because it'll be your turn, right down the road. And of course, the best way to learn this is to start doing it. So we'll break out into smaller groups.
Yeah, so we'll go for about an hour. Then we'll come back and do a bit of a group debrief. Bill, could you facilitate one circle and Kathy the other? I'll stay with Kathy in this group, and that's the one that's going to be recorded. And I'll bring everyone back in an hour. So our topic is, what is your vision for creating an empathy center here in Santa Barbara? And how might you like to be involved? And or share whatever else is on your mind. If there's something going on in your life that you want to share, you're welcome to share that. So it's a totally open discussion topic in that regard. So here we go. Going to create the rooms, and the one room will I've been invited to join it. There we go. So with one room, we'll stay here.
Doke.
And Sally, if you can click on, there you go. And
All right. So, Scott, this is your first time. Anybody else first time to the circle? Carson, your first time? All right, good. So,
I've been to this circle, but not an empathy circle.
yeah, gotcha. You've been in NVC, but this is your first time to an empathy circle. Great. So you'll find the difference between the MVC empathy and our empathy is you do not have to make empathy guesses. All you're doing is reflecting back what the speaker says. So I'm going to be the first listener to model listening. Who would like to be the first speaker? Carson. I'm listening.
Thank you. So the prompt was to discuss either what's on my mind, if something's up for me.
It should be in the chat. What is your vision for creating an empathy center in Santa Barbara? How would you like to be involved, or whatever is on your mind?
Yeah, I was going to say that in the reverse order. So, so for me, I'm very excited about the Empathy Center. I think Edwin and I have had a chance to share and discuss that while I had the good fortune to be there on my first visit. I think it's truly an incredible, a bringing together, if you will, of the right people and resources to make something very beautiful happen that can happen for a very long time.
Great. So, let me pause you so I can reflect.
Uh-huh.
So you've met with Edwin about the Empathy Center. You're very excited about it. You think it's the right time, the right people coming together in the right place for this to be happening.
That's right. I think that there's a lot of opportunity, and as I've talked and Edwin has shared, there's so many different things that the buildings themselves need some work and some care and TLC. But yet there's so many different directions that one could go with it. I think that I would look forward to the opportunity to bring some of my work, which we do retreats and we do conferences and so forth, but and I'm involved in a Mount Madonna Center, which is a retreat center here in Northern California. An intentional community has been around for about 45 or so years.
Yeah. Can you pause?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're looking forward to bringing your work to the Empathy Center. There's a lot of involvement you have in other communities that are doing some work that might be aligned with what the Empathy Center is doing.
Yes, and the idea is to ultimately bring retreats to that center in Northern California and then also down to the Empathy Center in Southern California. So
Gotcha.
that these are typically retreats having to do with primarily compassion-based activities that can be found in the workplace or organizations broadly for people development.
Okay, so you want to bring people to the Mount Madonna Center in Northern California as well as Santa Barbara, and it's compassion-focused work with businesses, it sounds like, and you want to bring some of those conferences, retreats, whatever you'll be doing to Santa Barbara.
Right. Yeah, and these retreats are typically around equanimity or the social architecture of a compassionate organization, circle work, all kinds of different themes. One of the things that I'm also very excited about with Edwin's work is the empathy tents and the things that he's done there. I was a progressive organizer when Trump got elected here in Santa Cruz. We set up a chapter of Indivisible, and we were very much focused on finding common ground and the common good and so on. So I think Edwin's work that he's been doing can be really amplified then with the physical space to train people, and then to also train people to take that work into other locales.
Okay, so you see the possibilities of the empathy tents in particular because of your work early on in 8 years ago almost now, with getting involved in Indivisible to address some of the things that were important to you at that time, and decreasing polarization seems to be something you think the empathy tents can help with.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
time. That's time.
I was gonna say, I'm
Yeah.
actually, so. Great.
Yeah, whenever it's time, I'm going to hold up the heart, and just remember to speak in short chunks so that whoever's listening to you can reflect back. So it's my turn to speak because I was the listener. So I'm going to ask Jolie, would you be willing to listen to me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm doing an empathy circle training right now with new people. It's always just wonderful to see new people coming.
So you're doing a new training with people right now around empathy, and it's been really rewarding.
Yes, well, it's part of the empathy circle movement, and now part of the empathy center. But it's training we do every couple of months for people that want to learn the process. And it's a 4-week training, and we're nearing the end of a training. And it's just such a joy to see new people coming.
So you've been progressing through this. It's a 4-session training, and it's been really lots of celebration around seeing the progress of people and people joining and the whole process and getting to contribute in that way.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to coming to Santa Barbara in November and doing an empathy circle in person, because of COVID, we've been doing these all virtual, and also because it's, people from all over the world come, so virtual is the way to go.
I see. So you're really excited about the upcoming training that's going to be in Santa Barbara and connect with people in person. Also enjoyed the global connection, and also enjoying this opportunity in person.
Yes. So I've been on Circles with Edwin for 2.5 years, never seen him in person. Bill, who will be there, I've never seen him in person. Lou, who will be there, I've never seen him in person. So that's just kind of exciting.
So it's really exciting you're getting to connect in person with some people that you've been working with for a while virtually, and you'll get to be in the space together.
Yes. And I've recently met somebody that I'd only met virtually. Oh, it was in Florida, when I was in Florida. And it was just like we'd always known each other. It was not like, it was not like, it was not like, okay, this is weird because now we're a person. It was just seamless.
So you got to meet someone from Florida, and it was really seamless connecting with them.
Yeah, there was no difference between it having been virtual for a couple of years versus in person.
Okay, so the transition to in person just really flowed really well, and you were enjoying that connection.
Yes, yes. Well, I was relieved that there was no discomfort, no weirdness. It was just like, not a big deal.
I see. So it was just there's a lot of ease around the connection, just very comfortable. You didn't experience awkwardness that may have taken place in the transition to in person.
Right. Thank you, Julie. I feel fully heard. And now it's your turn to choose the listener, and you get to be the speaker.
Okay, I'm going to turn my timer off here. Okay. So I am.
Oh, do you want to choose somebody to listen?
Sorry, someone to be a listener. Scott, would you be willing to be listener?
Happy to.
Okay. So I am really excited about the center opening up. I actually started my journey in this county, and my first training was in Santa Barbara. My journey with empathy and learning about new ways of relating and connecting ways.
Yeah, so it's exciting for you because this is where your journey on empathy started, connecting with the center.
Yeah, and I really I had the wonderful opportunity a couple weeks ago to come up and join with Regula Weiner and her husband Michael Kearney and others to do some meditation. And upon my arrival at the center there, I just was deeply moved by the locale, just I immediately stepped out of my car and just, there was so much peace and quiet, and I just really felt connected to everything there. Just a lot of calm and excitement to come in person.
Yeah, so getting to understand more about your excitement because you've been there and you felt like the calm and the ease and the presence that you had being at the center was so like nourishing for you. You're looking forward to that again.
Yes, and my connection with Rajale was previously in Santa Barbara at Casa de Maria, and as I heard about the center through another person who was in another empathy circle meeting, Catherine Cooley, about the center, I didn't know, she told me about it. I was excited because my passion is sharing ways of connecting in life, giving just different strategies for doing that. And the empathy circle is one way, and having a place to do that where all are welcome, and is accessible to me. It's not too far from where I reside, is just super exciting.
Yeah, this has been really exciting how your network has led you to different connections and different ways that you can spread your mission on the planet of spreading empathy. And so it's
Yes,
exciting to have this.
and since I have discovered since I discovered NVC and nonviolent communication in 2011 at my son's school, I'm a fellow educator, and seeing this life-giving way of communicating, connecting way with empathy, and learning what empathy was, I just have felt it within me to wish to pass it on. And I see it as really vital. A lot of academics and other things are taught, and I'm just now discovering how much is out there about teaching to relate in compassionate ways, and would love to be more engaged in that going forward.
Yeah, you're inspired. You came into contact with NVC, it touched your life, and you've had a passion to share this with others as a tool. And
Yeah,
you're
and
excited. Go ahead.
yes, I am. And seeing, like, I'm familiar with Esalen. I've never been to that center, and being familiar with Casa de Maria and other centers, hearing about intensive things through the Center for Nonviolent Communication, that community, of how having a locale to gather with people in a welcoming setting, with people that have tools and ways to connect with each other, and help us to continue to hear each other and work together for everyone to thrive. It just really resonates with me.
It's
And
time,
okay.
but you still get your reflection.
Yeah, and when you think about like the community as well as a location to come together, and that's exciting for you. What's the possibility of the center expanding and you being a part of that expansion?
Thank you.
Thanks.
So it's your turn to choose somebody to listen to you, Scott.
Carson? Go.
Yes, happy to listen.
Thanks. Wow, when you said Catherine Cooley, she's an old friend of mine. And it's like it's bringing back so many memories of Santa Barbara. You said Casa de Maria, and there's just other things that have been said that are striking like strings in my heart.
So you're feeling very, very connected because there are some people that you share affiliation or friendship with, and it's moving you in that sense. It's making you feel good and connected.
Yeah, I feel emotions coming up. So I haven't been back there in like 7 years. And we go back to Florida like each year and see family, but it's another long trip to get to California. So, yeah, I'm feeling the sadness and missing.
So you're feeling emotional, you're feeling the sadness and reflecting on the difficulty it is to come from the UK, let alone just to Florida, let alone then hopping again across the country. And that's you're reflecting the sadness is coming forward for you on that.
Yeah, and like also like the vibrancy of that community. God, was in Mankind Project. They had 400 guys in men's group just in my town alone. There's this here, I got to drive 2 hours to get to one circle of men.
So you're feeling reminiscent of all of the activity in this area that you used to be able to experience, and where you are now, it's much harder. So it sounds to me like you're feeling it's a little more difficult to connect with people of like-minded frames.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and at the same time, I am celebrating. We do have a men's group this week coming up, and there are a lot of good things going on here.
So you're feeling, even though you're sad in this moment, you are appreciative of what you do have in the physical space that you're living in right now in the area.
Yeah, put in a lot of times where it's one or two people, and gradually, it's growing to there is a core nice community of people that are into personal growth stuff here.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're planting seeds and watering them carefully, and some of the fruit is, the flowers are starting to sprout, and they are available.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and I'm appreciating putting on this workshop in January. It feels over my pay grade, like it's a bigger workshop than I'm used to organizing. And I don't feel I have the traction here like I had in Santa Barbara.
So you're putting on a workshop there, and you're feeling, to use your words, it's over your pay grade, and that you don't have the traction where you are now like you did in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, and because I've made that choice, I put a stake in the ground. I said I take a stand for empathy, and I want everyone here to have it. I'm not doing it in London. I'm not doing it in Manchester. I'm doing it in my town of 5,000.
So you're boldly stepping forward by choice to bring what you are very firmly committed to in empathy activities to a small town, and you're doing it kind of despite everything. And I think my interpretation of it is you have deep good intentions to spread this and do the hard work and be an outpost. All my words, but that's my interpretation.
Yeah, outpost. I like that. Yeah, and it feels hard. It feels like time's overwhelming, and it's requiring me to be in the principles of empathy more every day in integrity with what I'm teaching.
Yeah. So you're putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak, and you're doing the work in doing the work. And it sounds like it's feeling maybe like you're stretching your empathy muscle.
Thank
That's
you.
time.
Okay, so I've already had a turn to talk. So does that mean
Yeah,
pass the baton?
we keep going around the circle. You
Oh, I see.
select anybody you want to listen to you when it's your turn to talk.
I see. Okay. Edwin, would you be willing to listen?
Yeah, listening.
Thank you. It's really lovely to sit here and be in this presence with all of you and have all of your different perspectives on the work you're doing. Scott, in particular, it feels you feel like you're an adventurer, an empathy adventurer, I guess, in a sense, or someone, cutting through the jungle to bring it in a space that it probably isn't really formally known.
So you feel like it's a real pleasure to be here, and you're just speaking about Scott, how his is he's sort of a pioneer bringing this forward.
Yeah, and I have appreciation for that, because for me, it was as an example, when we set up Indivisible in Santa Cruz, we wound up having 4,000 people get involved, but that's like running downhill, right? I mean, setting up a political progressive resistance frame in a highly liberal and very progressive place. So I can't imagine what the inverse of that would be like.
Yeah, so you've had an experience of starting a group, and it just really exploded because it was sort of a political group, and just can't imagine kind of the other really sort of a humanistic type group forming that, the challenges that are involved in starting that.
Yeah, and more specifically, just in terms of bringing something that people may or may not be comfortable with out of the gate. And if they and to try to plant that flag and make that happen takes a lot of work and a lot of personal work. So I have a lot of respect for what you're doing.
You just have a lot of respect for what Scott's doing because he's starting something new in this environment, and it takes a lot of effort, and you really respect that pioneering work.
Yeah, and I'll just finish up by saying too, and I'm sorry you're feeling so far away from some of your original community, because that sounds like that would be very difficult to be living in such a far distant place away from your friends that you haven't seen in a while.
You're just feeling sorry or have some understanding for what Scott is going through, just not, being in a different community away from maybe some friends and other community that he has connection with.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's all I need to share right now.
Okay.
Unless
You feel heard, then that's fine. Mm-hmm. You can just say, "Yeah, I feel fully heard." That means
Yeah,
you're
I feel
heard
fully
too.
heard.
Okay, then I'll speak to Kathy.
I'm listening.
Yeah, it's I'm enjoying the energy of this group. It just it's a very feels like a very positive, empathic sort of energy.
So you're enjoying the empathic energy of this group right now.
And then to create that energy at the center too, to really pioneer, talking about pioneer, and I think Jolie was talking about that, being there in that space. And there's really something about being in person that really is powerful.
So you can identify with pioneering something, and you're wanting to bring the feeling that you have here in this space into the empathy center. Always empathic, warm, connecting.
And we do have workshops starting. Rodley, who's been a real connection with her Mindful Heart group in Santa Barbara, has been one of the main connections we've had. And so she's in her group is holding a monthly mindfulness type workshop now, kind of going forward at the center.
So there are some things happening. Rodley is now having a monthly mindfulness meeting at the center.
And then there's from people coming to that, there's another group who are wanting to start sort of a retreat center, but they don't have a space, but they're thinking, oh, we could use your space. And so they're starting up an event, just to sort of prototype and test at the center. So that's kind of starting to, roll.
Yeah. And so out of Rodley's work, someone else found out about the center, and now they're wanting to do a type of retreat there. So the word is spreading.
And then someone who had been in one of the workshops that Rodley and I led there, he works with UC Santa Barbara in their wellness center, and he talked to them, and now we had a call, and they're looking now how they can start holding some events, maybe starting small, but really kind of grow. And there's that connection with the university, which I'm excited about, to get young people up here.
So this is too exciting. Different relationships keep, pointing to another one. And now this UC Santa Barbara with young people coming up there, starting something small is really exciting to you.
Yeah, so it's just the little ball is growing, but I can just see that the more the ball starts rolling, the more people know about it, and then more opportunities sort of arise out of that. Because we've been doing so much work, just cleaning the place, getting the the basics. There's still a lot to do, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
This ball is starting to roll.
Yeah. So while you've had to do this work on the facilities, at the same time, the programs are still developing that are coming there. So you're doing a little bit of each, but it's exciting to see the ball rolling on the programs.
Very much so. And then also the curriculum development, that would love to, connect with curriculum developers like Jolie that we can develop. We have this basic training, the empathy circle, the training around that, moving into conflict resolution, but to really build on that with curriculum, extensive curriculum development. So I can see it as a space for really deep curriculum research and curriculum development. So really want to reach out to the, curriculum development, instructional design community.
Yeah. So you want to develop curriculum, and people like Jolie you can see as being helpful in doing that, people with that kind of experience. And so you really want to develop a lot of that curriculum and research.
And I hope Jolie can take our training on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Carson will be there. Kathy will be there. So invite friends.
Yeah, so Jolie, come on down, bring your friends, November 17th, 18th, 19th.
Come on down. Come on up.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I feel fully heard. Thanks.
Okay, great. All right. Okay, let's see. Scott, would you like to be my listener?
Listen and you'll speak.
Yes. So yeah, it's very exciting to hear of these developments. And I just had this image of it's running fast and going to leave me behind.
Listening to the developments, you're excited, and at the same time, like, can I keep up, or am I going to get left behind?
Right. Yeah. And yeah, there's this whole theme in my life of am I worthy, right? So that's coming up for me too. Am I worthy of this work?
Yeah, as you feel into this work and what your relationship is with it, you're inspired by it, and there's a voice coming, am I worthy? Am I good enough?
Yeah. Yeah, and it feels so good just to be able to speak that, and there's no emotion about it, no judgment, right? It's just like, that's always been a question in my life, no matter what happens, am I worthy enough for this?
Yeah, you're feeling some space around just naming it, not having to buy into it or fight it, just allowing.
Yeah, not worried about anybody judging me.
Yeah, you feel safe that you're not being judged here, or you don't worry if someone's judging you.
No, I mean, this is going to be, this is recorded, anybody could see it. It doesn't bother me that anybody could see what my insecurities are.
Yeah, you feel free around those insecurities. You're not worried who might see it or judge you.
Yeah, I love my insecurities. It makes me who I am.
Yeah, you're even celebrating them.
Yeah. I think it's a fine line between humility and am I worthy? So I want to be the healthy side of that, not the unhealthy side of that.
Yeah, when you look at that belief around I'm not worthy, you can see it has some elements of humility that you want to keep, and you don't want it to drift into a shadowy type of I'm not good enough.
Exactly. Okay, Scott, I feel fully heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Jolie?
Listen.
I'm appreciating this. Yeah, I haven't been in this kind of like a round robin style empathy circle. Maybe ever, maybe a long time.
So you're really feeling moved and just nourished and supported to be in this space and to be connected in this way. And it's been a while.
And the way it's round robin, like I'm usually like I do empathy partnerships with people, and we'll have like a half hour each. But this is different.
So you're really enjoying the format of everybody getting to contribute and in the little bite-sized pieces in this way.
Yeah, and to have my sharing punctuated and then followed by others, because then it allows me to come to a different space.
So it's allowing a different type of flow as things progress with the interactions, and you getting to be a part of that.
Yeah, so all those feelings I had of homesickness or joy to see Santa Barbara, I feel complete with that. And now I'm connecting with a different part of me.
Oh, okay. So it's filling the space that was having some longing and missing and remembering and just bringing you to a new space of just some more wholeness and just feeling full and supported and connected.
Yes, and connected with my excitement to be part of what everyone's talking about here, to be around like-minded people.
So it's really just encouraging to you and giving you joy to be connected to people that think similarly and have similar aims and visions and life paths and what they're working on.
Yeah, and I'm inspired, Edwin, your approach, like to be so I don't know, ecumenical. I'm not sure what the word is, but open. Like, hey, I have this center. I want to build it up, and I'd like your input.
So you're really enjoying and admiring and appreciating the manner in which Edwin is being so open, he and his brother, to just really connect with people and bringing this forth to help everybody and bring this to pass.
Yeah, I'm valuing collaboration much more in my life, and yeah, I feel like you're setting an inspiring example of, by giving up control, it allows a lot of people to participate.
So you're inspired by the collaborative process here that's being brought forth, and the openness and just his willingness to allow it to unfold, and but actually inviting others to participate in the unfolding of this.
Yeah, and I'm remembering people ask me, "Oh, are you going to come back to America?" And I said, I don't have any plan to, but if someone said I have a retreat center and it's based on values I have, then sure, I'd consider it like a divine invitation.
Wow, so you are remembering someone inquiring about you returning to the States, and hearing like about this center, and also that a retreat center similar to this or that aligns with this type of work really resonates with you and would be a calling and an invitation for you, a draw.
Thank you. Thanks.
Is there more you'd like to share?
My time is up.
Okay.
And I feel complete.
You're muted, Jolie. It's your
I
turn to choose a listener.
Okay. I will choose Carson, please.
I'm listening.
Okay. Wow, hearing everybody reflect, and just as I was sitting here, hearing about everything people have been involved in, and it just really sparked my curiosity and my admiration too of, wow, I didn't know, I haven't been connected very much, and I didn't know so many people are involved with so many things and supporting people in life-giving ways and connecting and compassion.
So you're experiencing kind of a, how to say, an excitement and a thrill, my words, not yours, around hearing about other people, in this case on this call, who are so connected with different projects and different things related to compassion, and that's exciting for you?
Yeah, there's excitement and more curiosity, and too, I just have been moved, like hearing the different things. Just I'm feeling moved because it's been, ever since I discovered MBC in 2011, I felt it burning in me. I wish to learn more of this. I wish to relate. Like, I wish I knew this so long ago, and I wish I knew how to do this. And seeing how not having the know-how or just to do this, and trying so many different other ways that didn't work, discovering this, I just was like, I can't learn it fast enough, and I just can't wait to share it either as an educator. Just so this I'm just so moved because I have Okay, this is really hard for me. I'll pause a second anyway.
All right, I wanted to give you space. So in 2011, you got turned on to NVC, and you find that this work broadly is so moving and powerful. And in some ways, you're feeling some emotions around maybe having wished you had discovered it earlier. And as an educator, you also, it seems like you were feeling the power and the strength of these practices, my words, not yours. And that's exciting for you and very moving for you. So you're feeling a lot of things right now.
Yeah, just distinctly, just learning how to relate to others in such a connecting way through empathy and discovering what empathy is. My words of it, when I witnessed somebody in a workshop sharing this interaction, was I felt like the two people took their hearts, put them in the hand of the other person, and they were each holding them. And there was the potential for harm and there was the potential for care. And seeing it unfold in such, it was a conflict, and seeing a sticky situation and seeing that unfold in such a life-giving way just so moved me. And so hearing Kathy share those words she shared, I'm being really vulnerable here globally, which scares me, of the, am I worthy enough of this, has been a inner critic for many years. And so I feel quite brave coming today to, as I'm a skilled educator, I've been working with adults and children and people of all ages for over 30 years. And yet sometimes this narrative goes on. And I see this empathy thing, I can show up for myself and give empathy to myself, and I can show up in a space like this and be supported and held with care and nurturing. And that's what can make our world so much more wonderful.
Can I give a reflection still? Is that part of it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to try my best. I didn't want to interrupt you because I know that this was a tender moment for you, so I didn't want to jump on your conversation, but I'm going to try. You're feeling vulnerable. You're feeling that there's a narrative that's showing up for you that you felt was similar to what Kathy had said earlier around maybe you're not feeling up to the task, my words, not yours, or you're somehow not worthy of this work. And you're feeling that that's a difficult space to be in, but at the same time, and these are my interpretation, not yours per se, you also feel it's pain, and that the empathy, the notion of empathy and caring and putting the heart, you can put your heart in someone else's hand and they will do the same with you. And there's a potential for pain or there's a potential for care. So the whole space creates vulnerability just generally. And upon your reflection of that as an educator, so forth, you're also then hearing that voice again, like, am I up to this task? Am I qualified to do this? Again, I'm not sure if I got it all correctly, but I think that was what you were expressing. Okay.
You feel fully heard, Jolie?
Yeah, there was just a little piece, I guess it would just
Go ahead. What's the little piece?
the little piece was the power of empathy to help with all that,
yes.
to help with what we experience in life.
So the empathy is very powerful to help us with
Yeah.
our experiences,
Yeah,
positive and negative and so forth. And it's
and that's why I wish to be a part of this. Yeah,
very good for you. Yeah, great.
thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay.
Is it my turn to talk again? Is that how this works?
Choose your listener.
Okay. I will choose you, Kathy.
Okay, I'm listening.
If I may. How to say, I'm also moved by the vulnerability of everyone on this call and the acknowledgement that this is going to be recorded. And, then there's that as a thing. And I think it takes a lot of strength to have come forward with how you're feeling and to be vulnerable in a space like that. And I have a lot of respect and admiration.
So you're knowing that this is recorded and that we're being vulnerable and still willing to put forth our vulnerabilities. You have a lot of respect for that
And admiration.
and admiration.
So that's all I have to say. I feel fully heard.
Great. Okay, good, because I forgot to start the timer. Okay, so Edwin, would you like to listen to me?
Listening.
Okay. Oh. Well, I'm part of the Edwin fan club also. I don't see how you can be so, what's the word? Accepting and open, because I'm a control freak.
So you're part of the Edwin fan club, and you just don't understand how it can be so open and controlling because you're a control freak.
Yeah.
How does he
Well,
do it?
Yeah, exactly. And when I say I'm I'm a recovering control freak, because I definitely work hard to not do that.
Yeah, so you're working hard not to be a control freak, and you're calling yourself a recovering.
Yes,
Control
I'm in
freak.
recovery.
Mhm.
I'm in recovery. So yeah, and I'm here to learn more than just empathy. I'm here to learn ways of being from different people who are involved in this movement. I mean, it's more than just empathy.
You're wanting to learn from everyone, not just about empathy, but other ways of being and practices as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And people from all over the world come. Like somebody was on from Rwanda. And I have a connection to Rwanda, right? So I feel excited when I see somebody from a country that I have a connection to, or Turkey, I have a connection to Turkey.
Yeah, you've got you're excited when people come from different countries, especially that you've had connection with, like Rwanda. You have some kind of a connection there, and Turkey, you have some kind of a connection there.
Yes, yeah. Oh. So yeah, this is more than just empathy, right? There's something that's forming in me that I want to say about that.
There's really something more than empathy, and there's just sort of like forming,
Yeah.
just something is
Empathy.
forming.
Yeah, empathy is the excuse to come together and learn different ways of being.
Mhm. So the empathy is just an excuse for coming and learning all kinds of other ways of being.
Yeah.
Just a starting point.
Yeah, it's just a medium for connecting and learning and growing and loving.
And it's just a medium for all these other learning, growing, loving.
Yeah. So it's almost like there's a hidden agenda, but it's not hidden. It's just not obvious.
It's almost like a hidden agenda, but it's not hidden. It's just not really obvious what it's about.
Not obvious. Yeah, exactly. And it can change you. It can change your whole being. It can change the consciousness of the universe.
And you see the potential for changing the whole consciousness of yourself and the universe.
Yeah, I do. And I recently heard something. I got 25 seconds. I recently heard something. There's only one problem in the world, and that is we're not at the level of consciousness we need to be at to address the symptoms, all the symptoms: racism, global warming, war, polarization. All those are just symptoms of us not being in the consciousness we need to be in.
And you heard that we need to be in a certain consciousness that we're not in to really address all the problems in society.
Well, the problem is the level of consciousness that we're at. Everything else is a symptom of that level of consciousness.
Oh, so all those problems are symptoms of a certain level of consciousness.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel fully heard. Thank you.
Speak to Scott.
Listening.
Yeah, that's how I see empathy. Empathy is more like a way of being. It's sort of like the water in the fishbowl, right? It's the space, but all kinds of stuff can happen. Or if you see you know, a coral reef with all the fish and all the beauty and all the action kind of happening, that the empathy is sort of the water that all that happens within, that makes it more vibrant and real.
Yeah, you're kind of agreeing with what Kathy shared, and you see empathy as this universal space, this water that everything can swim in, and good things, progressive.
Yeah. And the other thing that I had made a note of is there's all these programs starting to develop workshops, and I just did starting a mediation with 2 people in Santa Barbara, and so we call it a restorative empathy circle, to where I listen to all the parties, then I bring them together into an empathy circle to kind of work out their issues.
Yeah, when you think of the different things within that fish tank, different programs going on. One of them is this restorative empathy circle, which you're excited about.
And 2 people from Santa Barbara that have been involved in the center in conflict, and they've been willing to do this restorative empathy circle. And I see that too as the beginning of really developing our mediation program at the center. That what we're doing here is really kind of the core of mediation. If you can get people into an empathy circle who are in conflict with each other, the conflict kind of just unravels, and connection usually gets built.
Yeah, you're seeing a pathway how the restorative empathy can lead to mediation services, and how this is maybe a bit of a microcosm of that. If we can get people to hear each other, then we can start to resolve issues.
And we actually did that in the empathy tent. So we would bring the political left, right together to dialogue with each other. And so we've done a lot of work around that. So I just see a huge potential. I'm pretty excited about it, that, I think we can really scale up, at the center, so.
You're excited about what's going on at the center, and you're thinking of that empathy tent you had of bringing people with different sides of an issue together and making a space for them to talk rather than fight, and seeing, wow, we can scale this in so many ways.
And then the other is the co-design collaboration. I think that came up. There's the whole human-centered design, the co-design, they call it participatory design, from the design community. I think Carson's trying to do some of that with his compassion work, to use these design processes. So I've started reaching out to different design communities to see if we can get them, coming to the center too.
Yeah, you see another source of collaboration can be with design communities and how they can participate in the center.
And I think someone was saying, oh, Jolie, about having not learned these skills like in school. Like, why didn't we just learn simple empathy skills in kindergarten already? So that's like a whole nother program, is to start, scaling up. And there has been educators, in some school programs that have reached out. So it's nice to having the center, people start coming to us instead of always having to beat the bushes, going to kind of promote different projects.
Yeah, it's exciting. You see the benefit of having a center to be like the lightning rod for all of these other projects that have the same goal, to come together and collaborate.
Yeah, I feel heard. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
We have 10 minutes before we go back, so two or three more rounds.
Do sometimes people say, I feel complete?
Oh,
and
you
pass it on?
you can select somebody and just say, I feel fully heard, and then they can select somebody to listen to them.
Okay. Jolie, I feel fully heard.
Oh, okay, thank you. So I can ask someone to hear me? Okay. How, Edwin, are you open?
Mhm, listening, yeah.
Okay. So my excitement level like went up exponentially hearing you talk about curriculum development because I've been doing that at my school in lots of different ways and been trying to do it with MVC as well. I'm starting my candidacy process for certification through the Center of Nonviolent Communication and connecting with positive people there. And I also, when I met Rajule this month, I approached her and was discussing about the Mindful Heart programs in the schools and telling her ever since she started that, I wanted to approach her and ask about coupling that with the empathy piece with the children.
So I'm hearing that you're pretty excited hearing me talk about the curriculum development because you've been working on curriculum development and I think around the NVC aspect of curriculum development around that in the schools. And then Rodley is working on the sort of the mindfulness work. And you talk to her about merging the two and you see maybe some excitement
Right.
about merging the two.
A little tweak on that is I'm just embarking on the doing it in schools. I've been sharing it with private organizations. I'm a part of Bike Ventura and partnered with them. They were willing to open up their space as well as the Ventura Ventura County Community Development Corporation. We're very gracious in letting me hold workshops for the community to share empathy processes. I was sharing Marshall Rosenberg's processes and it helped to connect with different parents in the community and also the staff at the center there of Bike Ventura to develop some safety policies and ways to communicate with clientele. So in more connecting ways and supportive ways. So there's that piece.
So you're just beginning with working in the schools, but you've been working with Ventura Bike. Is that the bike group?
Yeah, Bike
And
Ventura.
Bike Ventura, and you brought in sounds like some training and some programs, just sort of beginning with them.
Yeah, it was me embarking on helping people to see how to navigate having conversations and meetings where all voices could be heard and just doing it with resonance. When Kathy was mentioning about empathy being the springboard, I've also been studying Sarah Payton's work and others' work of how to just really bring more depth to going deeper in how we can do that in our lives and other ways. And since education's my passion, I wish to go deeper in that too.
So you're looking at how you can go deeper into these empathy skills and practices, and you've been learning from Sarah Payton about her processes. And what you're looking is how to have better meetings and people that really connect with each other.
Yes, and I was excited to hear that you've had educators approach you because when I first saw MVC for the first time modeled in my son's school, Ventura Charter School, that's their culture. All the teachers are trained in that. The school is very much a community. The parents are highly involved, and just witnessing it in action. Seeing a teacher interact with two kindergartners and having conversation and just seeing the outcome of a kindergartner noticing they're willing to take this action to help support the other student just blew my mind.
Right. It was just the time, but it really blew your mind when you saw NVC in action, that the teachers were having the students use the practice and just how effective that was. You're just really moved by that.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, then I think we have about 5 minutes. So I guess it's time for me. I can speak to Carson.
Listening
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having time together at the center to kind of brainstorm some ideas of, how the Compassion 2.0 community, we can work together.
So you're looking forward to having time with me down at the center to brainstorm ideas about how Compassion 2.0 can work with the center.
And I think you're trying to move into the design community. So I'm really curious what, kind of design experience you've had, or what, you know, uh, just kind of your experience with the design. Because I've been reaching out. There's a whole field of what they call co-creation, co-design, participatory design that I would really love to bring to the center. So I'm really curious what your experiences are.
So you're curious about my experiences with design, because you've been learning about several different flavors of design, co-creation, co-design.
Yeah, they have like there's a bunch of terms for that. Participatory design. Usually there's a designer who's kind of like the experts, and they go design something kind of as this individual or group. And the co-design is you actually bring people together, to the community together, to facilitate everyone being part of the design community. That's what they're calling either co-design, participatory design, or co-creation. Those are some terms for that.
So traditionally, designers have been kind of an individual. These are my words, not necessarily yours, but traditionally designers have been by themselves. They've been doing their thing. And now there's this new modality of group design. And there are different ways in which people have labeled it, but it's essentially people coming together to co-create or co-design together.
What I'm looking for is a couple of people who want to lead that initiative here at the Empathy Center. We already have a curriculum that is free and off the shelf from IDEO, a big design company. And I've gone through it like 10 times, but I'm just looking for a couple designers that could host that and kind of lead it and take on the responsibility for making it happen and getting started here at the center.
So you are looking for some folks to step in and lead this co-design process. That there's been some work that you've done, or I should say that you've taken advantage of through IDEO, kind of off the shelf sort of thinking, but now what you'd really like to do is find some individuals to take charge and really lead this process for the center.
Mm-hmm. And the topic would be how might we design more community at the center? So it's almost like all the participants are co-designing a community, almost a spirituality that addresses their needs. And the continuous innovation and co-design is part of the process.
So hard not to want to respond and talk to the things that you're speaking to and just listen and pay attention. So so you're suggesting that you kind of envision this code creation, co-design activity that's at the center as it's designing for itself in a process of design. I'm not sure if
exactly. That's close enough.
Okay.
So I think I broadcast. I just had to. We're finishing up. We have 1 minute. I just sent the notice to the other group, so we'll have about 1 minute just to have any kind of comments, I guess, before we go back to the full group.
I'll just reiterate, if I may, what I just said, which is Edwin's talking to me and asking and saying, I want to co-create and talk to you. And it's interesting being a part of this process again, of just not just watching my own brain just move back and forth from the notion of active listening to wanting to actively respond. It's such
Yeah, you have to hold those questions back. It's like only reflect back the question. You can't really answer it and stay in that sort of empathic mode.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. I'm
Yeah,
gonna hit
it's a challenge, huh?
Yeah. Okay, just closing the room. I'll kind of pop back within 60 seconds.
Yeah, I think of when I'm giving empathy to a partner who's saying things like, you did this wrong. And I'm like, no, I didn't do that. But that's not the time to say it, to be able to just reflect back. You're feeling angry because I didn't take care of the garbage.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a link into my one of my startups which is based on the work of Dr. Tanya Singer, who Edwin actually had an opportunity to interview on one of his podcasts. She and I built this company, and it's about her empathic neuroscience work, and we've created a platform to bring it to the public. So if you're at all interested, you should check it out.
Cool, thank you.
That or work on dyads,
Yeah,
dyadic relations. Yeah.
the dyad is a very powerful tool. It's every day, 15 minutes, 2 questions each, and it's very cool.
Okay, we're welcome back, everyone. So we just want to do a little bit of a debrief now. So we can just go around and everyone share. First is, how was the circle for you? How was your experience? And then second, do you have any ideas? Did any ideas come out for how you might like to be involved in the development of the Empathy Center? And we'll just take a minute or so to the max. Scott, would you be willing to start?
Yeah, could you tell me the prompt once more?
How was your experience in the Empathy Circle? Just any sort of insights that came out of that, and how might you like to be involved in the Empathy Center going forward, if at all?
Yeah, I am appreciating the process of the Empathy Circle, appreciating the being in a community of people so like-minded. Like, we all have the same goal of bringing, or at least my group, of bringing more empathy into the world. And I'm not sure exactly how I'd be involved. I'd like to engage in some conversation with you outside here, give you my resume, and it's like some of the things that I could do remotely to support the center.
Thanks, Scott. Kathy?
Oh, yes. So, well, I'm finishing my 5th hour of Empathy Circles today, so I think that tells you how I feel about them. Yeah, and my little circle was very connecting, 3 new people, and just seamless, like they've done it forever. So thank you all.
And Jolie? You're muted.
I'm excited to be here and connect with everybody and hear what they're involved with, and to hear from you, Edwin, about being a part of collaborating with curriculum development. I would really like to be a part of that. And I also was excited to hear about UCSB joining, and thinking too, since I'm connected to the Santa Barbara Botanical Gardens, about connections there, and just supporting the center in that way. And then also remembering at Casa de Maria, how they had the gardens there to help support the retreats with the food that was provided, and just some ideas around that I'd love to have some talks about, different ideas I have, and even more too about inside the center, because I'm a big tiny home, tiny space design person too. So lots of ideas.
Oh, great. Well, I'll be up there on the after the 29th. So I'm in the Bay Area right now. We do want to do permaculture and regenerative culture at the center. And so we can connect in person there too. So Carson, yeah.
The Empathy Circle I thought was great. It was really great to connect with some new folks, wonderful folks. There was some vulnerability that was shared in the space, and I was really appreciative and admiring of that. So it was a great experience for me, and I appreciate everyone there. Also, for my involvement in the Empathy Center, Edwin and I've had, again, I think I might have mentioned some conversations already, and I look forward to helping. We had some thought partnership at one point to bounce some ideas together, and I look forward to continuing to do that if that's something Edwin would like to do. And then also looking forward to just bringing programming to the center itself, and start to scale my personal mission now in life for the rest of my professional career is to scale compassion. So the Empathy Center to me is just a karmic wonder that this has come forward as an opportunity to help and support. So anyway, I look forward to supporting it any way I can.
And you'll be taking the training too on the 17th, 18th, and 19th coming up there. Yeah. Bill?
Well, I was really appreciative. I was really glad to see people joining, new people joining. I learned a lot. And I really appreciated both Betsy and Andrew. Andrew coming in from Africa. And certainly empathy is needed there as everywhere, here too. And I'm just really appreciative and grateful. Thank you.
And you'll be doing the training on the 17th.
I'm going to be doing the training, the in-person trainings. I'm also conducting the online training. So I'm your training.
And so is Kathy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the link so I can put it in the chat so people that are interested in it can sign up.
I'll dig it up. Jonathan?
Okay.
Well, thank you, Edwin, and everyone. I'm contributing by learning how to be a good empathy circle facilitator, and I'm going to be volunteering on the summits. We have a wonderful summits program that brings educators and professionals in to talk on a specific topic, and the attendance gets up into 40s and 50s, and after we do the presentations, we all break out into rooms and we have an opportunity to discuss what went on in the summit. And so we need many facilitators to guide the small groups in the discussions. And then I'm going to be volunteering shortly. In November, we're doing some educational training to lawyers on conflict resolution in India. And then when Bill and Edwin are down doing the in-person training, I'm looking forward to keeping the space open on the online program so that if we have guests arriving, I can facilitate a circle. And I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. I did put the workshop schedule, so the different workshops are listed there. Thanks, Betsy.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm not sure because I'm like really new. Today's my first day and I've been listening and trying to process everything. So I'm doing volunteer work for the Santa Barbara Alliance for Community Transformation. And we work with the city right now. And we're trying to get housing for the homeless. Right now, we're working on a navigation center to where, because they're getting lost in the system when it comes to housing. There's all sorts of issues. And so I wanted, when I saw Empathy Center, I thought, I like that title and I have just moved here. So I want to continue doing stuff for the community. Like, I don't know what that is when it comes to the Empathy Center, but maybe I can move that around in my head a little bit. And I just really enjoyed the empathy circles and being patient with me. I was just like learning how to like give the information back when I was listening to it. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it takes a little time to learn the practice, usually maybe an hour or so to kind of settle into it. And we do have the facilitator training. So since you're in Santa Barbara, if you check that link on the, again, as I mentioned a couple of times, the 17th, 18th, and 19th, we'll have a 3-day in-person training, which will be a really good place to kind of connect with us personally and, bring friends too. And we had talked about doing our empathy tent, setting that up at some of those places I think that you'd mentioned, with the homeless. And so that's something that's been on the radar. Andrew?
Yes, thank you. I'm very happy to join the Empathy Center and far from Africa. And I was very much happy to be a listener and a speaker, and listen and speak one's heart, one's idea. So as a new person, I feel like having experience and learning on how to be to solve the problem, to be empathetic, and even learning from others idea. So I'm very happy to be in this group.
Great. Well, so glad you could come, and you can always hold local empathy circles too. It's a good way to sort of spread the practice. Sally, you there?
Oh, shoot. Hi, well, we had a wide variety of people, and it just got a lot of my thoughts just rolling about the enthusiasm of the people in the group willing to come up, and just people have had just some really interesting ideas, and I'm glad that they were there, contributing and wanting to contribute to this process. And it really does, the bottom line, require people who are inspired and willing to do the work. And obviously the work isn't hard, it's fun. So how else can you, I mean, you can't feel bad if you're enjoying yourself. So, okay.
Okay. Thanks, Sally. Tina?
Yes, I'm holding the phone. I really appreciate the opportunity to participate, and in terms of what I can do, I'm interested in remote opportunities where I can support your work. I'd love to learn more about the curriculum that you're developing and the KKK transformation, member transformation. That sounds fascinating. Great job, by the way. I'm interested in nonviolent communication. So how empathy training, it just seems to fit right in. And also I'm curious about the training in India. So I'd like to learn more, in short, about the good work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. So we have the 4-week online training. I'm not sure when the next one is. It's just finishing up next week. It'll probably be another couple of months. Bill, do you know when? Is that what you're muted?
Yes, I will be doing that. I'm very interested in this training. Thank you.
Put your email in the chat. If you're on your phone, you may not be able to do that. But anyway, check back to us, and we don't have a scheduled training yet, but we're going by the end of this month we should come up with one.
And we have these open house sessions, open circles every week, and so I hope to see you all next week. And I did put the schedule of events in there. You can check if there's other events that fit for your schedule. Oh, there's you see her email, Tina Jones. You see that, Bill?
I didn't see it. No.
Oh, it's a direct message. Okay. Let me just get that to you.
Okay.
Before we close. So it was sent to me. So there it is.
There it is. Got it. Okay. Got it. Great. I will put you on the waiting list. Sure.
Okay, we like to end with our jazz hands, sort of a mirrored jazz hands, and to be continued. See you next time, or look forward to it. See you up at the center. Really excited about our upcoming session to meet in person. So Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Yeah, stop
you.
by
Bye.
Jolie to the center and we'll talk about curriculum.
Yes, so you'll be there, you said from the 17th through the 20th, is that when you're?
It's actually the 29th. I'm going up on the 29th and I'll be there till the of October until the 21st of November. You think would you be able to take the training on the?
I have to check,
Mhm.
I'm have a job position, I'm waiting to hear back this week. It's a temporary position, but I might be able to have that ask for the Friday off, so, and tell them that I have this training I'd like to participate.
Well, it's actually a 2-day training. We extended to 3. So the Friday and Saturday are sort of the same. They're session 1. And we did that because Rodley's group were using Saturday. So
I see.
if you only came Saturday and Sunday, it would be the full session.
Gotcha.
So
Okay, good
Uh-huh.
to know. Thank
Mhm.
you for the clarification. Yeah, I definitely, I mean, it's literally when there's no bad traffic, if I go in the morning, I could be up there in a half an hour. So yeah, I'd love to come up and meet with you and discuss things. I've curiously watched the tours, tried to read the transcripts of the meetings. There's they're quite long, but to catch up abreast of what you've been involved with. There's a lot there, and just a special place. And thank you for inviting us all to participate in that and for your work. I'm really glad to be able to be connected and be supportive.